June 15th, 1942. Dear Virginia, greetings from Australia, this land down under. It seems queer to be in another country where people talk with an Aussie accent and where we use shillings and pounds instead of dimes and dollars. And can you imagine cars driving to the left side of the road instead of the right? Melbourne is a nice city. We are staying with the first American nurses to arrive here. They left our good old USA in February this year and have now been set up in a brand new Australian hospital. We have had time to explore the city and surrounding towns, visited a monastery a week ago. It's cold here, winter in June. Even though Melbourne seldom sees snow, it is damp and rainy. Aussies don't use central heating in their homes. Brr! July 16th, 1942. Left Melbourne on July 4th and reached this little Queensland, bush town, 5 days later. There was considerable debate as to whether nurses should be allowed farther north than Townsville, but here we are in combat area. We carry helmets and gas masks with us all the time, wear our blue seersucker uniforms with white caps, shoes, and stockings. This is tropical Australia, so we are much warmer here, have already been issued sun helmets and find them a blessing in the noontime sun. The slit trenches in our backyard have already seen service, though the all clear has always rung off without anything happening. Aussie families are very friendly. They have already made our acquaintance and have helped us find pets of all sorts. We own a dog, Wallaby, and a chicken. Here is a picture of 16-year-old Thelma. August. Our poor dog Snafu has been poisoned. We mourn his death. But we have added so many pets to our collection that we correctly call one of our nurses' homes the Mariba Zoo. A schoolhouse has been taken over for our hospital. Every day we watch our B-17s go out on missions against the Japs. The 19th Bomb Group fellow says our airfield is well concealed in a natural camouflage of trees. Here's hoping so. Sandbags have been set out to provide trenches for the patients. A great deal of improving has been necessary in setting up this hospital. There is promise of hospital supplies coming eventually. Here is a picture of patients to surgery. September 10th, 1942. Had a day off last week, so we decided to visit Cairns, about 40 miles away. We discovered that we were to ride in a fascinating train called the Railroader. It is much faster than the train, only takes about 3 hours to make the 40 miles instead of the usual 4. The trip was extremely pleasant. However, in view of the fact that the scenery is gorgeous, it is easy to see that the building of the railroad from the city, Cairns, to our tableland town was quite an engineering feat. 15 tunnels have been made through those mountains. We had an intermission at the station Kuranda, halfway down the mountains. Here we're leaving Kuranda. Cairns and the Pacific Ocean are in the distance. Cairns is rather a pleasant tropical city with a good harbor. We wanted to visit the well-known Green Island off the coast. What a thrill it was to me to see the coral reef and to view the multicolored coral and fishes through the sightseeing glass-bottom boat. While making the boat trip to the island, we snapped a picture of another boat, similar to ours. As it came in closer, I saw for the first time one of the native Aborigines and met their sisters and students. Atherton is another tableland town, typical with its soldier monument of all North Queensland towns. The Australian Army doctor and sister, with their patients, were glad to show us their hospital setup. Here is a surgical tent. September 10, 1942. It is spring in Australia, and it is becoming hot. Our blue suits are much too warm, so we welcome the khaki culottes that have been shipped up to us from headquarters in Melbourne. They are slightly off-size and need some altering. Aren't we fashionable with these culottes and helmets? Uncle Sam wants portable hospital outfits to be sent to New Guinea. Each outfit is to be drawn from a station hospital. 4 out of our 30 nurses are needed. It is to be on a volunteer basis. September 30th, 1942. Here we are in Cooktown with the 7 portable unit, Becky, Val, Mary, and I. What a house we have drawn for billets. We can see the moon at night through the holes in the roof. And yesterday, Mary went through a weak spot in the floor. Goats in herds of 60 or more wander past the house at least once a day. Old Mickey Finn has been a daily visitor. He was always barefoot, was once a bailiff in town, and even then would wear his shoes only during the sessions of court. He carried them to and from the courthouse. The main street is rather a deserted place. Old Abu women sit on the curb in the early a.m. smoking their pipes while waiting for their rations. There are many relics of the old gold mining days. Captain Cook's and Mrs. Watson's monuments hold privileged spots in the town. Cooktown, Main Street. October 24th, 1942. Uncle Sam decided to withdraw nurses from the portable units. Only men are allowed to go in the forward echelons into New Guinea. Second station in Mariba seems dull now, but we noticed many improvements. December 30th, 1942. The Boona campaign boys have been coming to us now. Our present ward space is nowhere nearly enough, so tents have been erected for ambulatory patients. The fellows are suffering from malaria, malnutrition, and various jungle skin conditions as well as wounds. It is very hot now. Never thought I could work in a temperature of 130 degrees. Rumor has it that we may go to New Guinea. Why? We've been issued the Air Corps coveralls, slightly large for the most part. December 10th, 1942. The rain has started to come in torrents. Mosquitoes, bugs, and frogs are a real nuisance. December 19th, 1942. The water now is so dirty. The past 3 days it has come from the faucet a real coffee color. It must be the brick red dirt flowing down into the reservoir with these frequent rainfalls. Patients on the whole look better and have gained weight. But some of the fellows still look so thin and tired. We are having lectures on chemical warfare and demonstrations are given on the riverbank. We have 2 new wards added to the hospital. February 28, 1943. Mosquitoes have been bad the first few weeks. Several of the nurses, wardmen, and officers have come down with dengue fever. Don't you think the slacks are a slight improvement over the coveralls? The strings at the ankles are supposed to prevent bugs from crawling up should we land in trenches. Ooh. We aren't so busy now, are getting a day off each week and find picnics and swimming to be quite a bit of fun. March 26, 1943. Have been transferred to 2nd Station Detachment Gordonvale, several miles from Cairns. Sugarcane fields are the main industry. The level land provides good practice ground for the American paratroopers. Aussie families again are making our stay pleasant and interesting. September 29, 1943. Back to Mariba, our men are ready to move to New Guinea. The paratroopers have gone and have already made their first compact jump in Nadzab, the Markham River Valley, and New Guinea. We have nothing to do but sit and wait. We give ourselves and Wiggles daily exercises at the pool. October 1943. Am now working at dental clinic in Cairns. Have visited the Chinese labor camp there. December 1st, 1943. My 6 weeks of dental clinic work is over and it's back to Mariba again. There is nothing to do but write letters and become better acquainted with the inseparable Pan and Mrs. McCorber. January 9th, 1944. Virginia, At last we have reached New Guinea. The day after Christmas we received orders to move, and the days December 31st and January 1st were spent traveling by train to Townsville. There we started taking large doses of atabrine and received our New Guinea clothing of slacks, leggings, and high-top shoes. We left Townsville by plane at sunrise, January 7th, and today we are at the Port Mariba Drome waiting for a plane to take us to Nadzab. January 12th. This is a real wilderness and makes one very war conscious. January 15th, Jap planes overhead this AM. We watched the Ak-Ak retaliate from the field. Strafing was done. A trip to quartermasters showed us several planes hit, also saw natives and their little villages. January 16th, air raid at 1 a.m. We all took to the riverbank behind our quarters. Nothing happened. Plane after plane going over this AM. What a sense of security to see our own in the sky overhead. January 23rd. Had over 60 sick patients in 4 tents today. It was terribly hot, perspiration dripping. The cots, too, are so low and so many backs to rub and patients to wash. Most of the tents are hard to work in due to the uneven ground. Lack of bedside tables, linens, and equipment. All patients except those who are most seriously ill lie on blanketed cots. No sheets available, no pillows, with temperatures of 103 degrees and 104 degrees, and perspiring as malatial patients do. It must be terribly uncomfortable. For wash basins, we use steel helmets. Patients' towels generally filthy. Pajamas are scarce. Some patients wait for a whole day for a pair of pajamas, lying in their trousers and shirts. Dishes for mealtime are the mess kits, which occasionally the patients are admitted without. Then we have to scurry up dishes like tin pie plates and tin bowls. The water usually is plentiful, but today has been shut off. Apparently a pipeline is broken. It certainly is awful in this heat without water. Oh, Virginia, I am to leave Nadzab in a few days for the wonderful USA and home. How I hope I can see you when I reach California. I am so excited. Yesterday, I took a few snapshots of our nurses inside the stockade. Don't you think the place looks much nicer than it did when we arrived? See you soon, I hope. Love, Anne.
Article in Vermont paper. Glad to be home. Lieutenant Ann Thompson. Barry Warners. In no hurry to go back.
It's wonderful to be home.
Lieutenant Ann Thompson, Army Nurse Corps, repeated over and over as she gazed around the living room of her home at 44 Long Street yesterday afternoon. For the first time in almost 3 years.
Of course, I wouldn't have missed the experience for anything.
She told Times reporter.
But just the same, I don't want to go back in a hurry.
Back refers to the station hospitals in the northern wildlands of Australia and in New Guinea, where Lieutenant Thompson has been stationed for the past 32 months, doing general duty for thousands of soldier patients afflicted with a whole gamut of suffering, from tropical diseases to all kinds of wounds. She is now home on a 12-day sick leave from the Rhodes General Hospital, Utica, New York, where she'll report after her leave and undergo further treatment.